Today on SNG Daily, US push for temporary ceasefire in Gaza. The US has proposed a draft UNSC resolution calling for a temporary ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza and opposing a major ground offensive by Israel in Rafah, reports Reuters. America has signaled it would block a resolution drafted by Algeria, which demands an immediate humanitarian ceasefire. The US says it could jeopardize talks between the US, Egypt, Israel, and Qatar to broker a pause in the war and release the hostages held by Hamas. Getting a resolution passed would need at least 9 votes and no veto by any of the permanent 5 members. Thailand warns Myanmar migrants against illegal entry. As many Myanmarese flee to evade its regime's mandatory military service law, neighbouring Thailand has warned that those entering the country illegally would face legal action, reports the Irrawaddy. The Myanmar junta recently activated the People's Military Service Law as the army struggles to contain an anti-junta insurgency. Military officials have announced that 14 million of the country's young people are eligible for conscription. That's about 26% of the country's population. Thai Prime Minister has also allayed concerns that an influx of Myanmar immigrants would take away local jobs, according to the Bangkok Post. Thailand's unemployment rate is less than 1% now. Former Malaysia PM Mahathir Mohamad, 98, recovering. Former Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad is in hospital, recovering from an infection. News agency Reuters reported, his spokesperson is saying. The 98-year-old has been in hospital for nearly a month now, and there have been posts on social media which say his condition is critical. Mahathir, who held Malaysia's top political job for over 20 years, hasn't been keeping too well of late and has undergone bypass surgeries. He was Prime Minister from 1981 to 2003 and then from 2018 to 2020 after leading the opposition coalition to a historic win. His government collapsed due to infighting. Leaked Albanese advisor message hints at snap poll. A leaked message sent by one of the top advisors of Australian PM Anthony Albanes to all staff in the Prime Minister's office says a senior staff member has been appointed as we enter the election year, reports the Sydney Morning Herald. Elections are due next year, and Albanese said earlier this month that he thinks governments as a general rule should serve the full term, and that means an election in 2025. In the message, Albanese's Chief of Staff Tim Gartrell announced veteran Labour staffer David Epstein was joining the office as Principal Private Secretary. The message stated, "It is an important role as we enter the election year, and David is well qualified for the role, having worked for Labour in a range of senior roles over 5 successive governments and opposition." China cuts rate to boost real estate sector. China's central bank has cut a key loan rate linked to mortgages to help the country's ailing real estate sector. The benchmark 5-year loan prime rate, or LPR, has been cut from 4.2% to 3.95%. This 25 basis points cut is the biggest in about 5 years. The 1-year LPR has been left unchanged at 3.45%. The economy hasn't been doing well, and in January, exports dipped for the first time in 7 years. And demand for property has been falling. For all the top international news in a nutshell, tune into SNG Daily on our YouTube channel.